Hi, I'm Andrew.
And I'm Russ.
And we are
the Secret Sauciers.
Awesome. So we have a great guest today.
Fantastic.
Stuart Selbst, founder of Your Remote COO. Stuart,
co-founder.
A co-founder. I apologize. A pleasure to meet you, sir.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for being here.
I'm thrilled.
So tell me a little bit about you and Your Remote COO.
Well, let's take a step back. Let's talk about Your Remote COO. We are an outsourced or fractional chief operation officer service. We go into companies, we handle their day-to-day operations so the business owner can do what they're really good at. I found in my career, and my partner, who's also my wife, in our careers, that business owners are really good at that thing, whatever it is they do. They could be good at making software, or being an IT guy, or a financial planner, or a lawyer, or whatever it happens to be. But they're bad at everything else: the running of the business, the hiring people, and
operating the business.
And they can scale to a certain level of comfort. But everybody always wants something more. So about a year and a half ago, my wife and I, we were running a company. We were employed by a company, and we decided that we were going to take our skills and we were going to outsource them to the world, really to Phoenix. And we came up with Your Remote COO, where we can help smaller business owners. And when I say smaller, we're talking 5 employees to about 75 or 80 employees, with that chief operation officer role, which they really can't afford. Because when I was a COO, I made a lot of money.
Right, but they can afford.
But they can afford on a fractional, because you don't need, when you're 75 or 50 or 25 or 10 employees, you don't need a full-time chief operation officer. You need.
Well, and the other thing is that you've optimized everything about that process.
Exactly.
They don't have to reinvent all of that for their own business.
Well, speaking of process, most businesses of that size don't even have standard operating procedures, which
they don't even know what they need to know.
Right. So, and that's what. So
they know how to do their thing.
Yeah.
Totally get it. Great, valuable service. Tell me. Let's go backward a little bit. Tell us about some of your previous executive level experiences, and then we're going to start asking you some questions that.
Okay.
You know what this show is about. This show is about. We believe, Russ and I, the secret sauce is actually not in what you can do or solve in your business. It's what you can do or solve inside yourself, the self-realizations you can come to. So we'll get to that.
Okay.
But let's just start practically first with some of your experience.
Okay. I didn't always start off as an executive. None of us.
Really?
None of us start off as an executive.
Everyone starts at zero, right?
Everyone starts at zero. I started off in sales in my career, and I got a bug for technology. And so I worked in the technology field in corporate America for about 15 years as a network engineer. Very attention to detail, building networks, security, things along those lines. I left that because I had a bug in my head. We'll just use that term today. We'll keep it clean.
I'm looking in your ear.
I thought I could do it better, just like everybody else. And I was that I got bit by the entrepreneurship bug. So I started an IT company when I moved here to Phoenix in 2002. And I had an IT company that I started with $26 in my pocket. I was broke. I sold it 5 years later, and it was very successful. And I understood technology and what businesses need for technology. I was not the best technologist. I looked at the business of technology. So I kind of came out of my own cocoon as an entrepreneur in that realm. And I started a couple other businesses in the past that failed miserably, and learned from those mistakes. But after I sold that company...
So before that, you were the CFO. You were the Chief Failure Officer.
I was a Chief Failure Officer. When I had this IT...
We've all had that title.
Yes. When I started this IT company, it was not just about fixing computers and building networks. And that's what it started off as. But about a year or so in, I hired a business coach.
Really?
I did hire a business coach.
I didn't do that.
Yeah, we never talked about it. But I hired a business coach, and he gave me some really good advice. He said, if you want to charge the rate that you're asking for to the right people, get on their level. So from that moment on, I wore suits every day. I talked at the C-level. I was not dealing with the office managers, but with the business owners or the executives. I transformed my metamorphosis into being that CTO or CIO for my clients. And we had about 9 employees in my company, and I was that CIO. And I had other people that were the technologists that were better than me, but I took the business side of technology and engaged with the right kinds of clients. We had about 25 or 30 clients nationwide.
So you have different conversations at that
Different
level.
conversations, different.
So you are a geek whisperer, sort of.
Not anymore, but
But you were.
you know, I have friends
He
that
evolved
are.
from that.
I have friends that are CES right now, and they're texting me, and I'm kind of geeking out a little bit this week.
But you have served as COO of some companies as well.
So yeah, I've been the chief. I focused on operations.
Well, you were good at it.
I'm very good at it because
So
I'm
that's what
so
you
detail
gravitated
oriented.
towards.
So when
The engineering side.
it's the engineering side, it's attention to detail, it's finding those pieces that are loose in the puzzle, so to speak. So when I sold my company, I went into consulting, and it was more along the lines of business coaching, because I saw a need in the technology industry, mostly those small managed service providers, those small IT companies that were really good at what they do, providing that IT service, or the ones and zeros, but not so good at client engagement, not so good at adding more services. No, not very good at engaging with vendors to get market development funds, MDF. Not really good at dealing with their marketing. And I'm not a marketeer. I know enough to be dangerous. I've got people in my network that are.
You're not a musketeer either.
I'm not a musketeer. So I kind of got burned out on that, and I took some time off, and I got a job as the chief operation officer, full time, of a software company in Dallas, Texas. I went there and we grew it, and it was fantastic. Then the company got acquired, and I was out of job, so we came back to Phoenix, and I got a call from a friend of mine who used to be one of my coaching clients. We had this long conversation about how he needed to hire a CEO, and we dove deep into it, and we realized that he needed a COO. So I said, why don't you hire me? So I went to work for him, and we built this company. Took him from $500,000 to $1 million the first full year that we were with him. And I don't know what his revenue is this year because we're not working with him anymore. But we were on pace to do about 1.4, 1.5 million in revenue in just 2.5 years, up from $500,000. And it was not adding new clients; it was engaging with the current client base and building better process.
So in that journey, from where you were when you were the CFO.
I was never the CFO. Yeah, Chief Value Officer. Don't use that because I'm not a
We all
financial guy.
fail. I mean, I'm not putting that on him. The truth is, we learn through our failures, not really through our successes. So that's not on you. That's on the universe. That's on all of us. So in that journey, what were some of the self-realizations? What were some of the things inside yourself you had to learn and change to that you noticed, right? That you in that metamorphosis that had an incredible positive impact in the business.
How blunt can I be on this show?
You could. This is
as blunt as you want.
This is a YouTube show, so you're allowed to say anything.
All right. So my first realization was, first of all, my wife. I owe her. And you know my wife, and she's just absolutely amazing. And
you guys are like peas and carrots.
We're like peas and carrots. She held me to a higher standard, okay, which I didn't know, but she holds me to a higher standard. So I really just had to stop being an asshole. I mean, plain and simple. I just had to stop being an asshole.
But why were you?
It was all about ego. My ego got the best of me.
Really?
Yeah. My ego got the best of me.
Wait, so that was having a negative impact in the businesses just because
it was
having
such
a negative ego?
No, I had no problem selling my services. No problem whatsoever.
So where was...
So how did the ego play into the role?
I would do a lot of public speaking at conferences.
Okay.
And
it inflated?
It inflated. So again, when I'm so embarrassed of my past.
No, by the way, thank you for sharing this, because this is exactly what the world needs to hear.
So I did a lot of public
This is
speaking, a lot of talks, especially in the IT industry, and I'm out of that industry now because I just, for so many reasons. But I did this presentation called "Selling IT Services: How Not to Suck at It," Okay? And I would do it at a couple different conferences, and it was very well received until I opened my mouth. And I would tell everybody to their face, I don't care if there's 20 people in the room or 1,000 people in the room, I would say they all suck at selling IT services because they're not engaging with the client. They would be looking at their cell phones. And I would start my presentation with my housekeeping rules. If your cell phone rings, I'm going to ask you to leave, or I'm going to take it from you. And I did. It was a good friend of mine. His cell phone went off in the middle of my presentation. I said, David, I said, give me your phone, or you can leave.
Sort of like when I took your phone away from
I don't care. You can have my phone. I'm not that important. Nobody really needs me right now.
I took his phone away.
But they can call my office, Somebody at the office will answer. Hopefully it'll be Lori.
Lori's his wife.
Lori's my wife and business partner. So a lot of people want to know how that works, and we'll get to that in a minute. But she kept me accountable. And I realized I couldn't be an asshole anymore. And those presentations and the kick in the teeth that I got, because I'm trying to keep this a little clean, the kick in the teeth that I got from that industry really taught me,
Be you.
I am being me.
Yes, that's what I want.
And it really helped me realize if I'm going to be successful at that next level as a consultant. So after the COO job went away, and then I was working for my friend because I couldn't work in the IT industry because I really wanted to work in the channel. It was my realization about that I was an asshole because I was chasing the money. I was chasing the high dollars.
Not the relationship.
Not the relationships. I have some.
So you're preaching the relationship, but not teaching the relationship.
I'm not following.
You were not aligned, sir.
No, I was not. I was not.
You were out of alignment. So Lori helped you come to this realization?
She gave me
guidance.
She grounded me.
She helped you see you?
She helped me see me. So I was sitting on my patio one day, and I just started writing on my laptop. I just started writing. I was going through some deep thought. I might have had a couple 18-year-old scotches in me at that time. I just started writing, and I wrote a paper called I Was Chasing the Money. It's actually on my LinkedIn profile. And it was about my realization of what I was doing for so long. It was definitely a come to Moses, or come to Jesus, or come to Buddha. It doesn't matter who you pray to. To me, it was come to Moses. It was that realization moment when I was writing this and writing it and writing it and writing it, and and I'm not the best writer,
but you want to release it.
You're spilling it.
I was spilling my guts, and it was this paper that is on my LinkedIn profile, and it's on there. It's a couple years ago. That it was not so much a realization, but an apology to all those I had done wrong, stepping on them on my way out.
Wow.
It was to me, and to me it freed me. It freed me from.
Give me goosebumps.
There's a lot of things you don't know about me, so this is all coming out.
Yeah.
It freed me from having to worry about the almighty dollar. I was
knowing that the dollar would come to you if you had your mind and your purpose and your talent aligned.
Right. I'm a very strong personality. I tell my clients what to do. I tell them.
I know you. He is not afraid to speak his truth. He's not a yes man.
I'm not definitely not a yes man. I'm going to tell people what's wrong.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell people how they should be moving things forward. I have a sixth sense, I call it, where, and if you take the Wayne Gretzky analogy of I don't want to be where the puck is, but I want to be where the puck's going to be, that's me. I can kind of see 3 steps down the road. I know when people are going to fall over their shoelaces. I've been there. I've failed.
You can see where it's going.
Right.
But part of that talent is not just seeing it.
It's experience.
But helping them understand it in a way that they can digest it and incorporate it into them.
Here's the biggest issue I see, and you nailed it. They've got to know that they have a problem. I believe that 99.999% of business owners know they have a problem. 1% are willing to admit it.
Well,
because they're afraid of their own success. not afraid of failing, but they're afraid of their own success.
I call that, the way I view that is, I'm not Buddhist, but the Buddha said all suffering comes from attachment. Mm-hmm. And I believe that most small business owners are attached to things. They cannot let go, and it's that process of them, or that ability not to let go, that precludes their ability to overcome that first wall. Because anytime you overcome a wall, there's always another wall, and another wall, and another wall. But you've got to let go.
Right.
And you have to have the right people. So you help them see this in
I don't
themselves.
help them, I force them. I force it. When somebody calls our office and asks for a consultation with us, because we do free consultations, they already know that they're asking for help. That's the first.
They already have a feeling that
something's wrong. They can't scale. Or when someone refers someone to us, someone else is seeing a problem within their organization.
But let me pause you there, because this is really important first step that he mentions. Critical. Step one, ask for help. That is something I've learned in personal life and
You're at
business
step two
life.
with that, my friend.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Step one is self-realization.
No.
Step one is knowing that is admitting you have a problem.
You have a problem.
Admitting your business has a problem, and then asking for help.
Well done. So, understanding you have a problem, but then asking for help, by the way, is what every good entrepreneur and business owner does.
I had a meeting with
knowing to
build a
ask
team.
for help.
Right. Build a team, and we have a mutual friend that I told him that he needs to build his executive team before he can move forward, and he knows that. But we work with a number of venture capitalists, and I was having a meeting with one the other day, and you know where we are in our business. We lost a couple of clients, and we're small, and so we're it's only our second full year in business. So I asked him for help. He looks at me, he's like, "But you're the guy that gives everyone help." And I said to him, Brian, I need your help. I'm not afraid to ask for it. And that was one of the realizations from my past life. I would never ask anybody for help.
Valuable tip to our audience. I cannot
be vulnerable.
I cannot thank you enough for sharing that.
I'm super vulnerable. I mean, what you see is what you get. We have a small office in
Didn't
Mesa.
Flip Wilson do that? Geraldine?
I
in the
don't know.
70s?
You're a little older than I am.
Do you remember that? What you see. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
No,
So what you see is what you get with me, with Lori. And a few weeks ago, I was at an event, and I said I have a friend, and she is a very intelligent woman who I think she's fantastic. And I told her that. I said, "Hey, I think you're great." She kind of got pissed at me. I'm like, and I said to her, she kind of got a little pissy, and I'm like, "Hey, what you see, what gives? What you see is what you get." I mean nothing.
But you
about
compliment it.
I compliment people, and you know what?
That's another great. That's something I live by in my life, is that most people do have positive thoughts and feelings in the moment about people. Like, man,
they might not see it.
I love that shirt, but they'll never say it, and I always wonder why. Why are they going to open their mouth and talk about something negative, but they won't talk about something positive? And to me, that is another great tip. So you came. So Lori really kind of created this new metamorphosis of who you are. She didn't create it. She was the catalyst. She
is definitely the catalyst, and and again, you know the both of us as a couple and as business people, but she is. They always say behind every successful man is a great woman. I'm happy to walk hand in hand with her. I think she's my
that
absolute
is
equal.
awesome. That
she's
is
my absolute equal.
Yeah.
She's got skills that. It's like dealing with employees is really one of the worst thing. I'm terrible at it. I don't know how to deal with people on that level, and she's fantastic at it. So she's
good compliment.
We're that great compliment. We have some overlapping skills in our business, but she handles one part of it. I'm more strategic. I'm more black and white. She's got great color, right?
So she keeps you though. So you had this big ego that was getting in the way of your success. You were obviously not creating many deep friendships and relationships because of this ego, I assume. So doesn't it come back? Is Lori like always keep, give me an example of when you thought maybe it came back and then you had to realize that you're constantly self-realizing. Because, you know, to me, sometimes you come to a self-realization, and I'd like to tell the audience, just because you come to the self-realization doesn't mean you're automatically fixed forever and ever.
Right. No, you're not. And Lori says to me, and I keep this I should keep it on a piece of paper in my pocket, but I keep it in the back of my head. She says, just stay consistent. Stay consistent.
Consistency is key.
And I work on that every single day. I work on being consistent. I have a work personality and I have a home personality. My home personality I work on every single day because that's my life. My work personality, I've got to have that adapted behavior for it, right? And we do a lot of disc profiling, things like that. My adapted behavior is very high dominance, okay, for work. And I have to be that way. But there's times at work where I have to revert to my natural behavior and just be a calming influence for our clients or whatever happens to be going on. Because you know what? I don't know everything that's going on in their personal life and their staff's personal life. So
you got to make the business.
But I got to
work.
make the business.
You are the bottom line where the business has got to operate.
True, but the business would not be where they're at without the people.
Understood. And the process. You know, you could put people into bad processes, and the people are not going to succeed, and the business will not succeed.
I look at business from a totally different perspective today than I did 7 years ago. Business is about people. It's getting the right people in the right seats,
with the right,
and then building process around their skill set.
Or obviously designing that beforehand before you put them in it.
You can't put a square peg into a round hole. I can't take you and put you into a company that already has process because you work in a different way. So if I'm hiring you to do X, Y, Z, I want to build a process that works for you. Processes in my book, in my world, SOPs are living, breathing documents. They're going to change all the time because technology changes, people change. We find a better way to do stuff, so we document it, okay? So if you came into a company that I'm working on and you found a better way, now it's the Andrew process, right? We're going to change that process for doing something.
It's going to evolve.
Oh, it's always adapting.
It's going to adapt. It's going to evolve. But
so they are a participant in the elimination of waste in the company and the constant improvement in those processes.
Yes, but everybody's,
because then they become a stakeholder. You're just not this authoritarian guy who's swooping in a cape and tights and saying, "I'm going to save the day and do as I say." No,
and we're not
we don't.
We're not the Bobs on Office Space. We're not going to be those consultants that come in and fire everybody. We want to get the best out of people. We want to make businesses better places to work, better places to do business with. Because you spend 40 hours a week there, okay? And you think about it, you spend 40 hours a week at work, you sleep hopefully 8 hours a day. You spend most of your life at work. You should enjoy it and not just be going there for a paycheck.
And the other thing about that, and I want to bring it up, is the fact that when you created a culture that people want to work and they want to be involved and they want to be engaged, that it really attracts a lot more talent.
It attracts talent. It attracts the right kinds of clients.
Culture always matters.
Culture wins all day long.
And by the way, it matters. So I believe there's an additional bottom line today, not just the almighty dollar, because millennials today are looking for a place where there's purpose and meaning, and it jives, the vibe of the place jives with them. That is a bottom line for them. And companies that authentically offer that, and I mean authentically, not just a ping pong table and you see somebody bring their dog, where it's how they hire, how they fire, how they promote. So, I mean, those talented millennials are going to those companies and they're staying there longer.
We did our radio show. We do our radio show every Friday, and this last week we did about engaging employees, employee engagement. And big part of it, they don't care about the ping pong tables. They don't care about the foosball. There's really super successful companies that have all their workers work remotely, which increases productivity, increases profitability, increases collaboration because they're doing video conferences.
But you have to trust, and you have to
trust. You have to make everybody accountable. Right. That's where we come in. We have the checks and balances. You have to get your work done. You have to be able to do things. So there's so much more that we can talk about. Like I told you when I came here, this
we're
could be
gonna
like
have
a
to have you
3-hour
back.
show.
We're gonna have to have you back.
Look,
again.
you shared some gold nuggets, sir, and I appreciate that. So,
Thank you so much.
Thank
you're
you so
welcome.
much. We're going to wrap this
Thanks
up.
for having
so,
me.
how would people get in touch with you?
There's so many ways. So our website is your remote coo.com, yourremotecoo.com. We also have a weekly radio show that you can tune into. It's blogtalkradio.com/yourremotecoo. We're on Twitter and Facebook, and you can always email me directly, and that's Stuart, Stuart, @yourremotecoo.com. Or if you want to call me, I'll take a call from anybody. My direct line is 480-210-2629.
Awesome.
Right
There you
to
go.
my desk.
So,
Thank you so much.
And you, sir? What
Russ
are you
at
doing?
russjohns.com. I mean, it's pretty simple. And I'm a co-founder of Adora Creative, so we're here in beautiful Phoenix and helping people develop their message in their creative media.
And I'm Andrew Kolikoff, and you could find me at kolikoff.com, KOLIKOFF.com. And I also consult to a number of companies, and one of them is a company called Optimum HQ, which is a no-code software solution that's flexible. And yes, you heard that, no code to develop any solution.
It's kind of badass.
For your business. It is badass. It's really badass. And it's changing the technology world upside down. So I thank you. Amazing guest.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stu. And until next time,
We are
Secret
the Secret
Sauciers.
Sauciers. Have a great day.
Enjoy the day.
Hi, I'm Andrew.
I'm Russ,
And we are
the Secret Sauciers. We're here to bring you valuable information that can help you move your life forward.
and your business forward. And those realizations come from within you, and we're sharing that with you through our interviews with executives. So please tune in.
Subscribe to the channel and join us weekly.
Thank you.